Hey guys, it's your girl Keisha K, and welcome to a quick video on the magic of herbs. Okay, so let's talk about why herbs. What do they do? Why do they hold so much importance and so much power? So, herbs have been used for centuries in several different traditions and cultures and races and countries. And the reason is because they bring in the element of earth. When you are doing your workings, I'm trying to get my camera adjusted here. When you are doing your workings, you need to make sure that you have all of the elements present: fire, water, earth, spirit. You want everything, air, everything. You want all the elements. And herbs are incorporating a spirit into your working that's going to assist you in making your working work. So, this is the thing that was a download that I received in regards to which herbs work with you, because some herbs work better with you than others. It's kind of like if your aunt or uncle, let's say your uncle refers you to a mechanic, and the mechanic says, "Oh, you Ty's niece? Okay. Well, let me hook you up." It's the same thing. There are certain herbs that are connected to you from your DNA, from your ancestors, and also just with who you came back to connect with, what herbs you came back to connect with. Not just herbs, but emotions and energies and spirits. And herbs are spirits. So when you are getting ready to use your herbs, you don't just want to throw a herb into a candle, throw a herb into a bath. You want to talk to that herb. And the reason why you want to talk to that herb is because herbs hold so many different properties. They need to know which one to use, okay? But we'll get into that a little later. If you see me looking around, I got tons of notes, okay? First, two book recommendations that you should have: the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. You can get it on Amazon. And also Old Style Conjure, Hoodoo, Rootwork, Folklore Magic by Star Cassis. This is available on my website, mybigcraftbotanica.com. Most of these herbs that I talk about are available on my website in my own online Black-owned botanica, mybigcraftbotanica.com. And most of the herbs on my website you do not have to buy in bulk. You can buy just what you need. Sometimes what you need is $2.95. This was full, and things of that nature. So you can get what you need. You can get them in bulk, or you can get them in usage. And the other thing, when you're talking about buying herbs, and I know it can be very confusing to figure out the ounces whenever when you see ounces. You only need a little, because at the most you should be sprinkling herbs into your candles. You do not want to overdress your candles. I'm sorry, there's something in my eye and I keep seeing it on camera. You do not need to overdress your candles. A lot of you are doing too much, and then your candles are burning black, and you think it's because the working didn't work or somebody is hexing you, and in the reality, the wick can't breathe. Okay? You are supposed to trim your wick, and you're supposed to move your herbs away from your wick before you begin to burn. When it comes to your baths with these herbs, make a tea. And what I mean by make a tea, put these herbs in a pot on the stove, let them simmer low until you make a strong tea. Strain the herbs, let the tea cool, then put it in the bath. When you do spiritual baths, depending on what you're doing, if it's not just a quick, like, oh, I'm going to take a quick spiritual bath before a full moon, whatever ritual, or before I go do this light work, okay? I'm talking spiritual baths to literally change things. For instance, if you are trying to rid yourself of something, like you can't seem to break through, okay? You keep having blockages. You get herbs that are going to remove those blocks. You take those spiritual baths for 3 days or 7 days or 21 days. You want to do it in multiples of 3s or 7s. I particularly love 7s. 7 is a number that is been used over and over and over in so many different traditions and stories that makes things happen. So if you're doing a spiritual bath to be really effective, something that's really bothering you, something you really want to move, do that same bath every day in multiples of 7, okay? Let's get to these herbs. The first one we're going to talk about is agrimony. Agrimony will pull anything off of you. It is a hex breaker, okay? It breaks up cross conditions. It's great for protection. It's not just a horrible Tyler Perry movie, okay? It also helps with better business and prosperity. Agrimony can be used in baths. It can be burned as a smudge. I don't know about a tea. I've never heard about tea with agrimony, okay? Here is a protection recipe using agrimony. This is coming from Old Style Conjure, okay? You need a small piece of red flannel and a pinch of each of these herbs: agrimony, Angelica root, rue, bay leaves, and an olive leaf. You're going to pray over each herb and then add it to the flannel. When they say pray, when I say pray, I mean you're going to command and explain to the herb what you want. I ask that you bring. I ask that you perform. I ask that you support that way, okay? No begging. We can ask and we can command, but we don't beg. And then you gather the corners of the flannel and you tie a piece of red cotton string around the packet to hold it together. Feed the packet a little olive oil or whiskey, which means pour, and carry the pocket in your bosom or in your pocket. That's a protection recipe, okay? The next one that we're going to talk about is Angelica Root. Angelica Root is a protection root. It's very powerful in dealing with family matters and unruly children, okay? And they say that this root is very strong and powerful healing root, and it can be petitioned for healing, again, because you're talking to your roots. Why are you talking to your roots and your herbs? Because the power of life and death is in the tongue. So speak life into your herbs and let them work with you and for you, okay? Anise seed, love it. Well known for used in psychic vision oils and also the ability to ward off the evil eye, okay? Bay leaves, they grant wishes. They bring in protection and prosperity. They offer peace in your home. But what most people won't tell you is that if you want prosperity, burn a fresh bay leaf. Or you can even write on that fresh bay leaf and bury it by a tree so that your intentions can grow. Bury it in a plant and watch your intentions grow. You can even do that with petitions. Side note, you can bury your intentions and petitions in a plant, water it daily, and watch it come into fruition. Broom straws, not an herb, but definitely something you should incorporate. They're worked for protection and cleansing. You can sweep away evil and negative entities and energies. Make you a protective or cleansing or clearing floor wash, and wash your sidewalks in the front of your door. If you're in an apartment, wash the front of your door down with that, okay? Using broom straws tied together, you can sweep things away, okay? What's next here? And I'm going to start showing y'all some of these roots. For instance, catnip. This is what catnip looks like. Let me see if you can see it. Okay. It's very good for lust. It's good for happiness and beauty. It's good for just attracting things, any attraction work, love, protection, money. Add catnip to it, okay? Now we're going to go to the spice cabinet and we're going to talk about cayenne pepper. Now, a lot of people use cayenne pepper in hot footwork, keep people away. If you got people bothering you at your job, you could sprinkle a little cayenne pepper underneath your keyboard at work. And that person you don't want, set the intention that they don't feel comfortable on your desk in your area, and they will not Okay. You can even use red pepper flakes that you find in the pizza boxes to do the same thing. You can just leave the little packet open on your desk. I'm telling you, it works. But back to cayenne pepper. You can even use it just when you need things to speed up. It's like cinnamon. Okay. It heats things up. It moves it. But don't do too much because you can overpower your work and you can cause a shipwreck if you rush too much. So don't use too much. Cinnamon, one of those herbs that we use for prosperity, abundance, peace, joy, health, wealth. You can use it to smudge. You can burn it and smudge. You can put it in powder form in your candles. Cinnamon, amazing. Cloves, well known for the power that they bring to your work for prosperity and business. And this is the thing. This is what cloves look like. They're great in like shut your mouth up spells that you can do with limes. You can cut the mouth open in a lime and you can enter and put in all sorts of herbs, garlic, cayenne pepper, soot, cigarette ash. Write the person's name down that you want to shut the fuck up. And you can seal it like you're sewing it with cloves. Okay? But if you're doing anything else like making a tea, making a bath, using it in a candle, ground cloves. Okay? Damiana. Number one love working herb. And this is the thing. Because the next herb I'm talking to you about is lavender. And that can be used for whatever you need. Lavender just brings extra sweetness and calm and peace and soothing to any working. You can put it in money if you want your money to come peacefully. You can put lavender in your pillow if you want to have a good satchel. Lavender and bay leaves in your pillow will keep away nightmares. They will keep away hags. They will keep away when you sleep and you feel frozen and you can't move. Bay leaves are amazing for that, and lavender will bring sweet dreams. Mix those together and put them in your children's pillow. That's what I do, among some other things. But yeah, so if you are trying to do self-love and you want to, or even love with your partner, and you want those sexy, just amazing love vibes, get you some lavender, some crushed roses, which we're going to talk about later, and some damiana. I don't have any with me. It's a very bulky little herb, and smoke it. Make a tea out of it, okay? It'll, you know the vibes. It'll bring it in. Let's talk about hyssop. It's a purifying spiritual herb. It cleanses, and you can smoke it. You can put it in a bath. You can put it in a tea. It's very cleansing and protecting, okay? Back into the kitchen. We're going to talk about garlic. Garlic removes demons, malevolent energy. It uncrosses your home. It removes evil spirits. And this is the thing. If you cannot burn things in your home, get you some garlic powder, some cayenne pepper, red pepper, some mustard seed. Put all this in some water. Let it sit. Let it mix, and spritz this all over your house while praying Psalms 23. Clears it all out. You can also get an onion. Onions are great for prosperity and protection, but for getting rid of malevolent spirits. Get an onion, cut it in half, leave it under your kitchen sink. Can't stay there. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about an herb that is my absolute favorite because of the way that it came to me. And that next herb is someone, yes, herb is someone. It came to me in a dream. I'd never heard of this herb before. And it came to me in a dream at a time when I needed to do some self-healing and working. It helps with high self-esteem. And you know, right after having a baby, a lot of women know that you go through that needing to get reacclimated with self. Lovage. It's a beautiful dried herb that is great for love. You can self-love, self-esteem. This is what lovage looks like. Let's get it in the right angle. So it's a pretty bright green leaf Okay, it's amazing, and a little goes a long way. Again, I want to talk about measurements. So you guys, when you're ordering your herbs, you don't think you're not getting enough. This entire package, and I'm going to show you what size it is. This is not little, okay? This is only 1.76 ounces. So you don't need a lot of this stuff. This is going to last me for years, okay? Years and years and years. So don't OD when it comes to buying herbs like you're going to be OD, okay? So here's one that I love, and it's upstairs again, but it's called Master of the Woods. When you're doing domination working, get you a purple candle, purple elements, some calamus root, and some Master of the Woods, and you can get some commanding work done. You can bend people's will to yours, okay? It's great for domination work. And domination work isn't a bad thing. A lot of people are always like, ooh, domination, da 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 da. Domination sometimes is necessary because sometimes you need that level of influence in a situation in order to make things work for you, okay? So don't be afraid of domination. As long as you're not doing anything crazy and you're just trying to like push somebody a little bit to help you out, you may need to dominate your boss to get that raise you deserve. You may need to dominate that landlord to calm the F down. Like, domination is necessary. Next, nutmeg. Back in the spice cabinet. Great for money. Great for money. You can use whole nutmegs, which I'm not a big fan of. I like to use the nutmeg powder to sprinkle into my money workings. You can make a simmer pot with these herbs, any herbs. Do a simmer pot. Get a pot of water, add these herbs, and as you stir it, let that pot be your cauldron and let the smoke and the energy and the spirit enter your home, okay? Next, we're going to talk about rose petals. You know about rose petals, dried rose petals, beautiful. Again, this is only 1 ounce. I will have this forever. And outside of that, when I do get flowers and I do get roses, I like to dry them out on my own just so I have them to crush. Sometimes you can use dry rose petals as offerings to certain deities, ancestors. Some ancestors like fresh flowers. Not all ancestors like flowers. Let's put that out there, okay? Because some of my people are like, I would rather the fried chicken. Okay, I would rather that shot of whiskey. So accordingly. But roses are used in love and romance and pulling in that very elegant luxury energy, okay? You can get you some rose petals, add a little gold flake to it, make a powder out of it, and ask for luxurious love to be brought into your life, okay? So that's a really good thing. Star anise, the little stars that you see, those are great for protection. They're very pointy, okay? They're great for good luck, prosperity, and healing. And they also help with your psychic power. So this here is a little Bobby Hemmett tip. If you don't know who Bobby Hemmett is, stop the video, Google, get a notebook, and sit down for the next 6 hours and take notes from some of the lectures that we've been graced with here on YouTube, okay? So in order to increase your psychic power, open your third eye, you can literally get some star anise, you can get some nutmeg and some cinnamon and make a tea. It'll help you out. It'll definitely help you out. There's another herbal supplement that just slipped my mind that can also help with your psychic power. I'm going to find it and then I'm going to put in the description. This is the herb that I couldn't remember. Okay. And then the next herb, my favorite, tobacco. And I'm going to tell you why. Tobacco, you can use it to bind and hold an enemy down. You can also use it to feed and draw in spirits to an altar. Not just an altar, any space. Now, because I'm an old soul and my Native American ancestors, those Apaches and Some of the old ancestors love a good cigar, and I love a good cigar. Tobacco is amazing for calling in spirit. Tobacco is amazing for calling in spirit. So here's something, there's a good tip for everybody, because not everybody can have smoke in their house. You can't necessarily burn incense. And this is a tip not just for tobacco, but for any herb, okay? I don't care if it's lavender, catnip, cinnamon, any of this stuff. If you can't burn it, make a spray. How do you make a spray? You crush up the herb, or use the crushed version of the herb into some vodka. And you want cheap vodka, because you want the stuff that's pretty much just alcohol, okay? And you're going to crush it up into that, and you're going to allow it to steep in a dark place for at least 14 to 21 days. Once you've done that, the elements and the essence of these herbs are now in this tincture, and you can just spray, okay? And that'll stop you from having to burn this. Another thing with tobacco, another way to call in spirits with tobacco, especially with cigarettes. If you had an ancestor who loved cigarettes, light it, even if you don't smoke, outside, take a puff to get it started and sit it down. They will finish it for themselves, okay? Those are great, great, great. Tobacco's great for protection. Tobacco's great for cleansing. Tobacco's great for holding down an enemy. All of these amazing things. There's no coincidence that all ancient cultures have used tobacco. They've used it to broker peace, to call in healing, to create a sacred atmosphere. It's old. It's necessary. Add it to your practice. If you don't want to go get cigars or cigarettes, go to your local liquor store and get your, that's the food, or one of them, yeah. So what you want to do, get you some chewing tobacco, the kind that comes in the pack, and use that. Burn it. Leave it as offerings. You don't always have to burn it. I leave a stack of tobacco on my altar. People love it. Absolutely love it. Use tobacco. That's one of my favorites, if you can't tell. Here we go. Here we go. Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle. Worked with in all types of sweetening work. The vine of the honeysuckle is good for binding lovers. So if you're married, if you're in a committed relationship and you two are kind of falling out, this is the other thing with honeysuckle. You can use honeysuckle in anything because it is a sweetening. It is the thing that brings in, almost dropped it. It calls in expectancy. You know that night before Christmas, that night before your birthday, the night before beginning the job that you got the promotion for, okay? This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. It's just literal honeysuckle dried. I paid $3.95 for this on Etsy. Okay, again, this is available at bigcraftbotanica.com. It's good to go. Honeysuckle is amazing. Add it to your money workings, your love workings, anything you're trying to draw in and you want to sweeten it. This is the way to go. Those are yours. Mine is coming from somewhere else. Okay. Next, let's talk about orange. I don't have any orange up here, but orange peels. Go ahead and what do they call when you get the essence of it and you would sprinkle a little bit of it? Zest. Add some orange zest to your prosperity work. It's also good for drawing in and all attraction work, money, all that good stuff, okay? We're going to talk about orris root, okay? Orris root is amazing for love, romance, and companionship. You can actually sprinkle it around your home to draw in and hold love in, okay? This is what the orris incense looks like. Again, this is $2.95 at bigcraftbotanica.com. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you don't need a lot. This is going to last forever and ever and ever, okay? Can you please put those up? She can't play with those. Okay, back to you guys. My last two herbs that I want to talk about. Vervain, okay? Vervain. It does not look like anything special. It looks like sticks, okay? But when I tell you, you can place some Vervain on a coal and burn it and smoke it throughout your house. It will remove any evil entity, energy, thought, feeling, and belief. You can burn this with copal and it'll knock everything out. Make sure your windows are open, your doors are open. Vervain and copal burned together are what you should use to cleanse your altar. Do not use sage to cleanse your ancestor altar. Sage removes spirits. If you use sage to clean out your ancestor altar, you are then going to need some good old Palo Santo to call them back in. Okay? Sage runs spirits out. They don't like it. So use Palo Santo and then welcome them back in if you have to use sage. Otherwise, I suggest use some Vervain and copal or just Vervain and cleanse your altar. Vervain has been used to cleanse altars and temples and sacred places for centuries. It's perfect for taking out the negative and leaving the positive in. Okay? Now, I want to talk to you quickly about the different versions of herbs and what you may need them for. So we're going to use cinnamon as an example. So here I have some cinnamon chips, okay? These are what cinnamon chips look like. So you may need something that packs a heavier punch than a cinnamon powder. You don't necessarily have to use this in just candles. You can put this in a mojo bag. So this is a great version of cinnamon to use in a mojo bag, okay? Then you have the other part of the cinnamon, the whole stick. This can be burned to use to smudge. And the reason why the stick is great to smudge instead of like the powder or the chip is because it has these wonderful little tunnels. So when you light it, and you're gonna need a strong lighter because it's hard to light, but once you light it, these little tunnels are gonna create the smoke and allow it to really smudge your house. You can smudge your wallet, your home, everywhere, your money, all of that. When you are anointing your debit cards for the week, if you've got money oil, use it. If you don't, get some at bigcraftbotanica.com. Yep, I'm gonna keep telling you about the Botanica. Get you some money oil. Anoint your wallet. Clean out your wallet every now and again. Get all those old receipts out of there, okay? Smudge it with smoke. Leave some cinnamon powder in there. Leave some money rice in there. Money rice is a whole nother video. Let Google be your spirit guide and look up how to make money rice. It's not complicated and it's very powerful and beneficial. And that's the last herb that I wanted to mention is money rice. It's a combination of several different simple herbs and some prayers, and you can use it in anything when it comes to prosperity, and it will draw that prosperity in. So I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. Like I said, if not like maybe two of these are available at my Botanica, and also gonna be available on Black Friday. I have planners coming out for you guys for 2022 with certain herbs highlighted for each month so that you can focus on getting to know that herb. And the reason why it's one herb per month is because there are so many properties and uses for each herb. If you just take next year to really build a connection with 12 herbs, your practice is going to skyrocket because they're going to get to know you, talk to them, hold them, let them know what your intention is. When you get your herbs, you don't just put them in your bags or whatever. You put them in your hand, in your dominant hand, and then you cover them and you pray over them and you explain to them what your purpose and intention is. And that is because most of these herbs have so many different properties. You need to let them know which hat they need to have on for this working. Just like you can be a husband, a son, a father, you can be a mother, a sister, a friend. You need to know what hat to put on. And it's the same with your herbs. They need to know what function they are performing in your working. So those are my tips. And like I said, those planners are going to be available on Black Friday. And they're only going to be $7. So that's just going to be on Black Friday, because after that, they go back up to 25. So yeah, look out for those. You guys have a wonderful week. And if you are not following me on Instagram and TikTok, go follow me at BigCraftWorks and visit my Botanica at bigcraftbotanica.com. Have a great day.